First down at the 35. Whitehurst, who loves to move this ball club in so many different ways, throws balls loose inside the 40-yard line, and let's wait and see who covered it, whether or not that was ruled a reception. It's going to be Clemson ball. Maurice Curry was the receiver, and the ball apparently held on to it long enough for the completion. Then Mike had just kind of slipped through his hand.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of these short routes today as Wake Forest defense plays off. We'll get into that. Good job coming in on the tackle. Is easily gets a hand to strip the ball. It's out there free, and then there's a scramble for it. You don't want to know what goes on the bottom of those piles sometimes, but Clemson gets it back.
And Mike Golick is the guy that knows all about that, the former Notre Dame star, 10-year NFL veteran. He's been in many of those scrums in his lifetime.
And we're going to talk a lot about these sets here in the no huddle. We'll get into the different variations and things they're going to do.
Curry in motion, inside handoff once again. It's Yusef Kelly. Is there room? He stutter steps his way across the 45. Nice job that time, kind of picking his way for almost 8 yards.
Again, Yusef Kelly in because Dwayne Coleman, the leading rusher last year, has a broken foot. He'll miss a couple of games. So Kelly, who was the man a couple of years ago, gets a shot again here. Good size back. He likes to start it in, and he'll bounce it outside. Good lateral movement there, and then he smart and goes north and south and gets those yards. Moves the chains, 1st and 10.
Giles Tucker came up and ended up finishing him off after he made those tough yards to the 46-yard line. First series of a brand new college football season, and Whitehurst wants to throw it, has protection, dumps it off in the middle. Stuckey, a converted quarterback, takes it across midfield.
All right, here we go with these offenses. When you look at this offense, you're going to see they're all staring at the sideline. And what they're looking for, there's 5 different things they're going to do. The huddle, mostly no huddle, then it's a quick play, slow play, or bluff. Bluff meaning he'll get to the line, act like he's going to run a play. He wants the Wake Forest defense to set, and then he'll change the play after that. We'll get into it more after this play.
Inside pitch. Curry stumbles his way down close to the 40-yard line. Boy, had he not stumbled, he might have been able to pick up some yards with his great speed. This is a kid who can really hustle the football.
Here you go again. They're going to look to this man. This is Dabo Sweeney, the wide receiver coach. Everybody is looking to him, the quarterback and all the wide receivers, everyone except the line. They all get the calls in the formation, and then Charlie Whitehurst will go to the line, and he'll tell the offensive line if it's a pass, what's the protection, and then they'll go from there.
Dabo puts on a show over there, doesn't he? Takes the handoff, looking long. Here's the release, got him out at the 23-yard line. It's Stuckey out of bounds at the 21. Chancey Stuckey and the Clemson Tigers moving right down the field. A 21-yard gain, Mike.
Now, what was beautiful about this is Charlie Whitehurst waits for Karan, for the wide receiver to go by Karan Bracey, number 2 for Wake Forest. You see, waits, and now Bracey, there's 2 behind him. He waits until the receiver's able to break in, past him and Stuckey, and he lays it there. A beautiful touch pass.
And the poise of this quarterback, Whitehurst, makes him something special.
Well, there's the dummy call right there. He got under center to see if the defense would line up into a certain position, and then he came back out and changed the play.
And you see all those heads in unison pivot toward the sideline. Straight ahead inside the 20. Grinding out a couple of yards at a time, trying to keep him honest.
What's interesting, Gary, and it's almost funny, is Wake Forest as a defense, they look to the sideline, and they're getting signals for their defense as well. And if Clemson changes, then the Wake Forest guys will continue to look to the sideline and change. Everybody's looking to the sideline except for the offensive line.
Not me. I'm looking at the middle of the field right now. 2nd and 8. Ball at the 18, the 8th play of this drive. Inside handoff once again. Kelly pounding his way down to about the 16-yard line this time as the center of the Demon Deacons defense pulled together. Remember now, Wake Forest last year, 45-17. They led in that game, 45-0. So it's been smoldering inside these Tiger helmets for a long, long time. They want payback.
And Clemson had a couple early drives in that game and came away with no points, and then the bottom fell out and they were down quick. So here they have a long drive. Let's see if they can get the payoff. They weren't able to do that last year. Whitehurst again looking to the side. He's fell in the protection of the line up front.
Whitehurst stands at the 21. Eludes one defender. Now he's down. He gets rid of it. Boy, he was in the clutches, and he was almost. I don't know if he had a knee on the field or not. We'll wait and see where they spot the ball.
What a smart play. He threw the ball right at Yusef Kelly's feet. You'll see the rush coming up the middle. Yusef Kelly, the fullback, going to block. Here's the rush. Good job of avoiding. He doesn't take the sack. He throws it right at his running back's feet. Ref kind of could have gone either way on that. Now here we go. Let's see. They had a nice drive, Gary, going on the field. Let's see if they can get some points out of this.
So they'll go for a 33-yard field goal attempt. The field goal kicker is Stephen Furr out of Florida, a junior. From 33 yards, the kick is on the way. Oh, it was bending to the left, and it was no good.
I'm going to tell you really quick, in warm-ups, I thought Jad Dean was kicking better than Furr. He was pulling the ball like that. I'm a little surprised they started with Furr kicking the ball.
And look at the anguish on the face of these Clemson fans. A great drive, but no reward. Well, the opening drive, better than 5 minutes. Clemson moved the ball 64 yards, but there were no points put on the scoreboard for them. So Wake Forest getting ready to handle the ball for the first time. ABC's Monday Night Football begins its 35th anniversary season with a special Thursday night edition as the Super Bowl champion Patriots take on the Indianapolis Colts. Plus, catch the star-studded NFL opening kickoff featuring Elton John, Destiny's Child, Lenny Kravitz, Jessica Simpson, Thursday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC Sports Championship Television.
We'll sing a little Elton John in a little while, Gary, all right? You and me.
Philadelphia Freedom?
Yeah, maybe we'll go that route.
I'm definitely dating myself. All right, Wake Forest with the football for the first time at the 20-yard line after the missed field goal attempt from 33 yards out. Here's Barkley, the guy who did so much damage last year, gets about a 3-4 yard gain. The quarterback is Corey Randolph. He's a junior out of Lake City, Florida. You see his numbers from last season. 8 touchdown passes, but how about 5 touchdowns on the ground? He's a rushing threat himself, as Mike indicated, both he and Barkley. Gain of 5 makes it 2nd and 5, just short of the 25-yard line. Corey Randolph was looking forward to this challenge as we had a chance to talk with him last night. Eludes some coverage. Now look out. He's got running room. He's got the first down, and he's close to the 35-yard line. A 10-yard pickup. We'll check the rest of the Wake Forest starting alignment. The backs and receivers, you've seen Barkley in action. Damon McWhite is the fullback, and at the wideouts, Anderson, Idolette, and Zach Selman is the tight end. On the O-line, Steve Allos, Greg Atkins, Blake Lundgren, Brody Overstreet, and Matt Brim. A couple of changes there. Arby Jones was supposed to go at left guard, but he was hurt late in practice this week, and so did not make the trip yesterday to Clemson. Quarterback keeping it. Good pursuit, but he eludes a couple, and he turns what looked like dire straits into about a 5-yard pickup. Clemson's defense very active that time. And they've got their hands full because there's a lot of trickery that goes on when you've got Corey Randolph, Barkley, and company out there. Bennett, Coleman, Tate, and Fountain, the front 4 defensively for Tommy Bowden's Tigers, with Waters, Hill, and Sampson in the linebacker spots, and they've got great experience in their secondary. This may be one of the real strong suits of this team this year, with Hill, Fudge, Pugh, and Justin Miller. From the 40-yard line now, 2nd down. We got a penalty here. May have run out of time that time.
Brody Overstreet moved the right guard.
It's amazing.
For the snap.
Mike,
False start. 62 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Tom Zamorski is the referee today, and you may have noticed something right there. Usually in college football in years past, they did not identify the guilty party. Yeah. That's a new rules change this year, and they will announce the men who create the infraction.
Yeah, I'm sure moms and dads all over the country are very happy about that their kid will get singled out.
2nd and 10. Boy, when you've waited so long for a season opening game and you're in this hostile environment at Wake Forest, it's a wonder there aren't more problems. And there's a definite problem as Randolph had to unload it under huge pressure from Leroy Hill.
And everybody wants the intentional grounding, but Randolph was outside the tackle box. That's what the referee is saying. And this guy, Leroy Hill, 27 tackles behind the line last year. He plays on the other side of the line. He is fast, not very big, a little over 220 pounds, but he absolutely loves to penetrate and make plays on the other side of the line.
And he's playing with a bad ankle that's had him slowed down all this week, but he told us, he said, there's no way. I will be playing, and I will be starting tomorrow, and he's already made a big contribution. 3rd and 10. Breaking loose on the outside and trying to find running room, Kenny Moore. And Hill again covering that side of the field comes up with the tackle.
Oh, and they got it. Looks like
they gave him the first down, didn't
nice
they?
spot for a first down. Absolutely. Good play. Barkley, again, he's not big. 5'10", about 175 pounds. Leroy Hill again on the tackle. You'll see 43 everywhere. But it's misdirection. See, they start to the left, and Barkley's going to go back to the right. They're trying to create holes on the defense. Clemson is not an overly large defense, but they're very aggressive, and they're going to go with the start of the flow. So what Wake Forest is going to do is start flow one way and bring their fast back and Barkley back the other way. Boy, Leroy Hill showing some nice speed, too.
Kenny Moore loved the fact that I called him as the ball carrier when it was Barkley. Barkley stacked up this time, and absolutely no gain on this one. They needed 10 in that last play. They got it for the first down. Now they'll face a 2nd and 10 situation.
Well, what's interesting is you look at the Wake Forest offense, Gary. They look to the sidelines as well. Nobody huddles anymore. I got this beautiful telestrator up here to try and draw, just say what's going on, and hopefully I'll get to be able to use it some, but nobody does a huddle here. They look to the sidelines. They get the call. Randolph again tells the line what's going on, and off they go.
At the 45-yard line, 2nd and 10. Up under center. Here's Randolph with a fake. Little play action. Throws it out here. Then ball is caught. Nice catch. That was Jason Anderson who made the catch across midfield. Let's go to our New York studios. We'll get an update. John Saunders is standing by.
Oklahoma State in this Taco Bell update facing UCLA. Vernon Morrissey goes 22 yards almost unmolested. Take a little look back there. And a 7-0 lead for the Cowboys. Derek.
All right, thank you, John. We'll be checking in throughout the afternoon and early evening. 3rd and 1 right now for Wake Forest. They try to keep the drive alive now at the 46 in Clemson territory. Randolph looking back to the sideline, and his coaching staff now telling his line. And the crowd responding here now, trying to rattle and shake him up a bit. Randolph on the keeper. Down close to the 40-yard line, and he's got himself the first down. Nice diversity to the look here.
Yeah, well, here, and you're going to, again, Wake Forest, they ran the ball 60 times last year in this game. And here you go. You're going to see the option to the right. Eric Sampson is going to come up for Clemson, but Randolph is able to cut inside of him. You've got to play assignment football in the option. If you have a man, you have to stay with the man. Eric Sampson came up to the outside too much, and he gave Randolph a seam to go underneath him, and he cut up, and he only needed half a yard for the first down.
Randolph has carried 3 times now for 21 yards. This time out of the shotgun. Backpedals across the 50 under pressure and has to dump it outside.
Yeah, they wanted the screen there, and here comes the flag. Well, and I'll tell you why. He was out of the pocket that time. Now let's see what the call is. He was outside, but the ball has to go past the line of scrimmage. If the ball doesn't go past the line of scrimmage, then it's intentional grounding, even if he's outside the tackle box, and that's what I think the call is going to be.
I think you're right on it. Officials continue their conversation across the way. Jim Grove wants to know what's going on here as he paces the sidelines. They got that headset came off in a hurry.
There's no foul on the play. The ball did beyond the line of scrimmage, and the passer was 5 yards outside the spot of the snap. 2nd down.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah.
I tell you what, I don't know. It looked like it went behind the sticks. Now, if we can see, he's out the box, but it's tough. Boy, it looked like it almost, it looked like it hit the guy right in front of the stick, so I think it was just past. No, it might have been, boy, I'd say that was close.
Yeah, it was close.
It must have been
a break in
4
that
referees are over there talking about it.
2nd and 10, just short of the 40 in Clemson territory. Both teams have moved the football on their first possession. Here comes the blitz. The pass is deflected, and it's caught at the 25-yard line. I believe that was Anderson over there. Yep, Jason Anderson making the catch for a 15-yard gain.
And Anderson is by far the go-to guy. 6'3", almost 200 pounds, a big target. He just runs an out route. This is throwing to a spot. This is nothing fancy. Randolph knows what the distance is, and he's going to throw to a spot. Anderson's going to make the break, and he's going to be right there.
Like we talk about the ground game of Wake Forest last year, they only threw, what was it, seven times in that ball game and ran it more than 60. This is the 11th play of this opening drive for the Deacon Demons. 2-touchdown underdog coming into Death Valley from the 25-yard line. Fake handoff. Well, no, it wasn't. It was Barkley stacked up. Randolph fooled me that time. But Barkley didn't have any place to go. How tough is it, Mike, as a former defensive lineman, to read all of these, different moves and feints that Wake throws at you?
Well, the trouble is not, defenses nowadays, you want to attack. You want to hit a gap and attack. But when you have misdirection, you kind of are put on your heels a little bit. And it's a little bit more of the old school. You have to read and react. And that's exactly what Wake Forest wants the defense to do.
2nd and 10.
So here you go. Dummy call to try and get Clemson. Again, you saw him raise that foot to take the snap. Clemson jumped into a defense, and then they changed the play. It's a big chess match out here.
Fake handoff. He keeps this time. Gets a couple of tough yards, and that's all. He had been averaging 7 yards a carry in his first 3 on this drive. At that time, the defense of Clemson was there to close it out.
Well, here's my thought on the beginning of this game. What happened to Clemson last year at Wake Forest? They got smoked. They come back here. They're at home in front of over 80,000 fans. I expect them to come across the ring like Mike Tyson does, in a fight. Now, the only thing is, will it be the Mike Tyson world champion, or will it be the Mike Tyson that we've seen of late who has done nothing? So they're trying to come across quick, and Wake Forest is trying to stop that initial punch, and they're doing a pretty nice job right now.
3rd and 7. Straight drop back, the quick throw, and the ball is dropped. Kevin Marion coming across, a redshirt freshman, couldn't hang on to that one.
Well, even if he caught it, he wasn't going anywhere. He was going to get tackled, I believe, by Waters, number 40, even if he had that one, but it's dropped. Wouldn't have been a first down either way. We get another field goal attempt here.
Matt Wisniewski, the field goal kicker. Career long, 44 yards, but he did kick a 52-yarder in one of the late scrimmages this year. This will be a 39-yard attempt, trying to put the first points on the board. And he drills it right down the pipes. So after that impressive drive by Clemson, produced no points, Wake Forest comes right back, and the first time they carry the football, they are rewarded with a 39-yard Wisniewski field goal. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you today by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right. The Hartford Mutual Funds, official corporate partner of the NCAA. And Samuel Adams, when you're ready for a distinctive brew, Samuel Adams, always a good decision. 3-0 our score. The kids having some fun here on the hill that comes down to the floor of the stadium.
That is cool.
Boy, everybody has fun. I have never seen so much orange, it seems like, as we've seen in the last 36 hours around this place. High expectations for Clemson, but right now the Tigers trail 3-0 as they try to move the ball up the field. Arice Curry across the 20, trying to wiggle his way to the 30, and that's going to be it. Just short of the 30-yard line. Well, the Nissan Drive summary, Wake Forest, 58 yards, 14 plays, culminated by Wisniewski's 39-yard field goal.
Well, I guess we know how they answered the initial punch from Clemson.
How important was it from Wake Forest standpoint to come into this hostile environment and do that?
Huge, Gary. I mean, coming off of last year, I mean, again, a conference game right out of the gates as well. Revenge on the mind of the players and the fans here in Clemson. And to get that stop early and then the missed field goal and go down and score was absolutely huge.
Whitehurst under pressure. He has to throw it away, and fortunately it was thrown strong enough that it wasn't intercepted, because Eric King was right over there, and he was thinking, I'm going to pick this one off and maybe run for 6.
There was an odd thing there, though, Gary. Pressure on the quarterback. That's something Wake Forest has not gotten in the past. Just 11 sacks last year. And as you mentioned at the top, they've gone to a 4-3 defense now. It used to be a 3-3-5, and that was because they lacked depth and quality at the defensive line position. They feel they have that now, so they've gone to a 4-man line, and they're hoping to get more pressure on the quarterback.
This time it's Yusef Kelly. He's working off the left side of the line for maybe 2 or 3 very tough yards. Take a look at what happened after that big victory by Wake Forest last fall. Clemson went 4-0. Wake, however, lost 3 straight games. They allowed nearly 45 points in those games. The average margin of defeat was better than 18 points. So they went into a real tailspin. And that's why there was a lot of concern on the part of Coach Jim Grobe coming into this season opener. He says, man, we're playing a team that's got revenge on its mind. We're playing at Death Valley. There are a lot of things that he didn't like. Receiver goes down. There comes a late flag from way back. The field judge. Penalty marker there on the anticipated interference.
Yeah, it's going to be on Warren Braxton, number 27. Now, I don't know if the ball would have been catchable, but Braxton got him coming out of the break.
Braxton, a redshirted senior out of Virginia, 6-footer at 208 pounds. And
pass interference, number 27 defense. 15 yards to the previous spot. Automatic first down.
You see it out of the break right there. You see the push as he's coming out, but the ball's in the air. Again, you can have contact if you're in front of the receiver down the field, but the ball obviously can't be in the air.
So the ball is spotted at the 49-yard line. Whitehurst trying to get his troops down the field again to get their first score of this brand new season. Curry split out wide to the far side. Stuckey in the slot. There's that, all those head moves in unison, and you see him pivot and look to the near sideline.
I would be, if I'm on the defense, I'm thinking, would you run the play already? I've been in my stance for the last 40 seconds.
Again, the fake inside, and
Got him.
Whitehurst throws. There's his man, Stuckey, at the 30-yard line. Boy, that was pretty. A big game. As we'll check in with John Saunders one more time. John?
Well, Gary, Oklahoma State trailing at UCLA by 7, but not anymore. Manuel Wright busts a couple of tackles, follows his blocking, shows his speed. 60 yards when he's done for the touchdown, and the game is tied at 7.
60 yards from the speedster to tie that one up. Good stuff in that ball game. Here at the 31-yard line, Kelly is the ball carrier. Kind of cut it back, and he gets maybe 5 to the 25-yard line. Teron Bracey, one of the linebackers, was there to stop his progress.
Bracey's one of those guys that got caught up in the defensive change. He was a defensive back last year. Now he's playing linebacker number 2 for Wake Forest. He stepped up, and basically he's got to step up and play a little bit harder now because he's going to be closer to the line of scrimmage. So it's a little more on him now. He's got to bring a knife to the fight now. He can't have a gun anymore in the D backfield. He's got to get a little closer to the action.
2nd and 5 at the 25. Charlie Whitehurst told us yesterday that he says 99% of the time we don't screw it up with all that head turning that you see and looking for signals. Now he throws, going for the sidelines. The catch was made, but it's no good. Out of bounds. Unable to stay inbounds. Braxton was the defender down there.
I saw him running that play and that pass in warm-up, and he was putting them all on the button. Here, just a little bit too wide. A little too much air on it. Going out of bounds. Now again, here's different rules in the NFL and college. In the NFL, if you're in the air in bounds and you catch it and get pushed out, they can make it a reception. In college, it's not going to. You get thrown out of bounds, it's out of bounds.
Obviously a big defensive play now for Wake Forest. It is 3rd down, 5 to go. Whitehurst letting his line know the play.
Run.
Straight ahead to the 15-yard line and possibly inside the 15, but a penalty marker is down. Back at the 21.
Well, normally when you see a flag right there on a run in the middle, tends to be holding. We'll see if that is the case here.
Teron Bracey was there to make the tackle, but Wake, of course, hoping to move him back and negate the possible first down.
Yeah, Wake Forest signaling that it's against Clemson.
Yeah.
Again, Whitehurst, we talked about his arm, all the records he has, 33 and just 18 starts, but he has the ability to run. There is no doubt about it if he wants to tuck the ball.
Holding, 65 offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
That's Cedric Johnson. They're one of their most experienced guys right here. Again, it's going to be a draw coming right his way. Let's see what he does. He's blocking down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's latched onto the hand right there. Oh, my gosh. If you keep your hands on the inside as an offensive lineman, they won't call it. As soon as the defender tries to get away and your hand looks like it's got him on the outside, you're going to get nailed every time.
3rd and 11 for Clemson. They trail 3-0 if you're just joining us. Along with Mike Golick, I'm Gary Gerald. Vince Welch patrols the sidelines for us today. Drop back, fires down the middle. He's got his man Curry. Curry, touchdown! Maurice Curry for 31 yards, and the Clemson faithful are rewarded. Charlie just nonchalantly jogs off to the side. Routine business, huh, Mike?
It's a pass he's thrown 1,000 times in practice.
A 31-yard strike. Now the conversion attempt. And the cannon fires. That's another long-standing tradition here in Death Valley. For the first time in the 2004 football season, Clemson now on top. Charlie Whitehurst, Tommy Bowden, the head coach, conversing. Whitehurst on the phone talking to the eyes upstairs after a 31-yard touchdown pass to Maurice Curry. And Clemson leads at 7-3. Jad Dean ready to kick off. Idolette, number 82, and 14, Marion are the deep men on the return team for Wake. Kick is taken at the 5-yard line. This is Marion, and boy, is he stopped in his tracks. Boy, nice tackle made right there. Stephen Jackson on the special teams, making the pop. Here's Charlie Whitehurst, 6 of 9 for 90 yards and the touchdown pass thus far in this one.
Well, what I like about him is his poise. And you know what? I mean, he was basically bred for this. His dad, quarterback, you know, David in the Green Bay Packers over 30 consecutive starts in the 70s. And the kid's seen a lot of film. You know, he just has it. You know, he just has that it. He has the poise in the pocket. His eyes are always downfield looking to make a play.
Randolph hands to Barkley, and Barkley's got no place to go this time. Absolutely a stone wall of orange. Well, at the conclusion of today's game, of course, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet player of the game from each team as Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each of the university's general scholarship funds. Actually, a loss of a yard on that play makes it 2nd and 11. Leroy Hill, Donnell Clark, big on that last tackle as they really close things off. Randolph now keeps the ball. Not much working again. Gets only to the 19, maybe to the 20-yard line.
Well, and Gary, I tell you, the interesting thing is these were the plays that were hurting Clemson last year, the ones right up the gut. We talked about the misdirection, but they were taking it right up the gut on Clemson last year. You see Randolph can't do it there. Barkley, his last 4 carries, this is the yardage he got, 0, 0, 0, and -1. So it's not happening right now. Clemson, what's the word we heard out of them? Assignment football.
Yep.
Everybody stay in your spot. Don't fall for all the misdirection. Just play your territory and be there to make the tackle when it comes to you.
Here's Randolph, straight drop back. He's under pressure. Hill once again, number 43, all over him, and he completes the sack. And what a contrast to this attempt at moving the football than the first time Wake Forest had it this afternoon.
Hill, 27 tackles behind the line last year and 8 sacks, and he's picking up right where he left off.
That number of 27 tackles for loss, second best in the nation last year.
He's a downhill linebacker, meaning he loves to run forward and attack more than side to side, though he does that pretty well as well. But his forte is getting on the other side of the line and making plays there.
Justin Miller anticipating the punt. Yeah, the punt will come from the end zone. Wake had the All-ACC punter last year, and he booms one back to the 31-yard line. The coverage is there, but look out now. Justin Miller eludes defenders, still alive, across the 40, down the sideline, cuts back inside. He's going to go. Touchdown, 69 yards. look at the excitement on that face.
Clemson was coming after the ball, a great kick. Sometimes when you kick the ball that far, Gary, you out-kick the coverage. You give the return man a little room to move, and then especially when you reverse fields, you start picking up some blocks. He got a huge one from Chancey Stuckey that we'll show you, and he was off to the races.
Well, from the line of scrimmage, that was a 59-yard punt, but it was returned 69 for the touchdown. The conversion attempt is good. The cannon fire continues. 14-3. And here's the man who did it right here, Justin Miller, and what a run back.
Great block, boom, oh, we're gonna have some fun showing that one.
Well, Justin Miller deserves a little break here after that spectacular run back. 14 points for the Tigers in the last 2 minutes, 9 seconds of the first quarter, and a 14-3 lead. Squib kick, tough to handle. Marion at the 5. And he gets it out to the 25-yard line, a good 20-yard return. And we've got penalties flying just across the 40 as we've got a little altercation taking place. Lionel Richardson made the tackle that time on the run back by Marion.
Emotions are high, but you got to be smart. You can get your hits in legally. You don't want to do anything stupid. That's going to, A, cost you a penalty and cost you field position, or B, get you kicked out of the game.
Spoken like a man who perhaps has had some experience in that department.
Unfortunately, yes.
After the play, personal foul against the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
There you go, dumb play. Now it costs him field position after a big play like this. Again, a great punt, but Justin Miller has a little bit of area to move, and once you reverse field, now blocks are set up. And Chancey Stuckey is going to be the guy who takes advantage of it. Right here, you're going to see Stuckey come in and clean up. He gets more blocks down the field. When you reverse field on a return, a kick return or a punt return, a lot of times space is going to open up, and it's going to create some great angles for your blockers so that your return man gets a hug from the head coach.
Yes,
it's always a good thing.
That's a good thing.
It's better than a chewing out.
Well, Wake Forest, instead of starting at the 26, they're now at the 13-yard line, first down. Oh, got a man, it's Anderson, and look at the pop put on him there. Boy, there was some hurt from Jamal Fudge out of Jacksonville, Florida. His nickname bestowed on him is the Hammer, and now I know why.
Well, he laid it down there. About 190 pounds, 200-pounder. Good timing here on the route. There's the catch. There's the shoulder right on the ball. Pops it out. It's a nice tackle. It's a nice defensive backfield. Some magazines and some publications have him the second best DB group in the country. Some have him 5th, some have him 8th, but they're one of the top groups in the country, these 4.
Randolph on the move, and he can throw going to his left, but he's under heavy pressure, and he has to throw it outside. Had to just throw it away. He was back inside the 5-yard line under that pressure. Leroy Hill once again, number 43. Hill is everywhere.
Hill has been in the backfield more than the backs for Wake Forest have. I mean, if it wasn't him, Eric Coleman was chasing him down, the D tackle, but this guy, Leroy Hill, again, 6 foot, 6'1", about 220 pounds. He'll play on Sundays, but you won't see him in the middle. He's playing middle linebacker here. He'll either be an outside linebacker or a strong safety in the NFL, but he will play on Sundays. NFL scouts and coaches will love the way this guy is all over the field.
And I love the fact that he told us yesterday that he wants to be the last guy to touch Howard's Rock when they charge onto the field. He says, I don't want to get hurt. I want to stay out of their hair. Randolph on the move. Great catch over there just across the 20, and that should be good for a first down, and Anderson snagging it for a 20-yard gain. Boy, did he reach for that one, but we got a penalty marker? Yes, we do. You saw the reaction from Jason Anderson. He knew right away.
But look at that catch. The throw was behind Anderson. He goes up with that tall, lanky body. Excellent job. But all for naught. Coming back, holding.
He's their go-to guy in terms of receivers. Had 44 receptions last year. Has 14 career touchdowns. But right now, Jim Grove, hands on hips, can only watch as his
79 offense.
Team backs up.
Goal. Repeat second down.
Matt Brim, the right tackle.
Well, there was a blitz coming. Here he is out here. There was a blitz coming, and he's got to get out. And you see the hand on the back, but it's the other hand. It's going to be the right hand across the chest, pulling him back. That's what the referee saw. It wasn't the hand on the back, it was the right hand on the chest, and you saw that pull, and you saw the defender twist around in Ty Hill, and that's where the holding call came from. Very difficult for that Brim, the 305-pounder, to try and get out there to stop a 180-pound blitzer. Got to move his feet better than that.
And it's now 3rd and 17. Randolph back into the end zone, dumps it out here. Barkley with no place to go, and that's a loss back to about the 3-yard line. Well, the accolades going to Anthony Waters, a linebacker, a sophomore, who had that one smelled out all the way.
Assignment football. Clemson is playing excellent job of disciplined football. They're not running all over the place creating holes. Everybody has their man. They realize if they're not on the tackle, that's fine. I trust my teammate's going to be where he's supposed to be, and Anthony Waters was right where he needed to be.
Second straight 3rd and out series for Wake, and now Plaquemire, the punter, stands back there within inches of the end line at the back of the end zone. And of course, we're waiting is Justin Miller. We saw
blocked.
Oh, it's blocked.
Got it.
Was that Chancey Stuckey?
Yes, it was. Stuckey again. Yep.
Boy, he had the great block on the run back for the score, and this time he blocks it a different way. He blocks the football.
Wow. And that's what you do. You know what? When you have the punter standing shorter than he needs to be in the end zone, you go after him.
So keep an eye on number 2 coming through here to put this one back in the face of Wake, and it's now 16-3. (16-3). Clemson, after surrendering the first 3 points of the ball game, has scored 16 straight. Ryan Plaquemire, who had a punt blocked for a safety moments ago, now with a free kick. From the 23. Oh, can he do it again? Inside the 50 and pulled down. Justin Miller across midfield. That was a 36-yard return.
Well, the special teams continues. Here's the block. Here's Stuckey. Nobody blocks him on the line. Then the personal protector, he blocks the outside man. Stuckey again, not picked up on the line. You see the PP goes to the outside, comes in. Stuckey untouched. I mean, that's easy. I mean, if he doesn't block it, he's going to get yelled at in films because nobody even touched him. He does a nice job of taking the ball off the foot of the punter. Here you go, another big return. Great field position.
Boy, a couple of big plays have been made here involving Chancey Stuckey for Clemson, and it's reflected on the scoreboard. Charlie Whitehurst now licking his fingers and getting ready to go back to work. He already has 1 touchdown pass today. Nice little fake to Kelly. Now he throws off the back foot, broken up. Oh, terrific defensive play made there by Josh Gaddis as we check in on the sidelines with Vince Welch.
Tommy Bowden put more of an emphasis on blocking kicks in the spring and in the summer. His team did not block a kick at all, a punt at all last season. They had blocked 7 punts and 1 field goal in his 5 years here. Since they didn't get any blocked punts last year, he put a real emphasis on that in the spring and summer, and it's paid off already in the opener.
Yeah, and he's pacing the sidelines, and you could almost see the body language there, savoring the fact that his club now, after being denied in their first possession, has the lead at 16-3. Here's the toss. Chancey Stuckey. Haven't heard from him lately, have we? This time he's trying to wiggle his way free. Oh, he almost pulled it off. A converted quarterback who's had a block that was huge and instrumental on a punt return. Then he blocks a punt attempt for a safety, and this time he ends up losing 9 yards. Well, let's take a moment here now and check out our Aflac trivia question. Which Clemson opponent has the best all-time win percentage here at Death Valley? A minimum of 5 games. South Carolina, Florida State, Wake Forest, or Georgia?
I'm going
to let you ponder that one.
All right, I'm going to
just a little while.
I don't know what ponder really means, but
3rd and 19. Aries Curry at the 31-yard lines, out of bounds. The senior from Columbia, South Carolina, gains 21. They needed 19. Move the sticks, and Clemson is prowling once again.
One thing about Wake Forest, Gary, and watching a lot of film on them, they play off. And you see Eric King, he's playing off. He's a good 10 yards off. He just doesn't want to get anybody behind him, but he's got to understand the sticks are right there. He bites on the fake inside out of Curry, makes a nice break outside, and of course, from Whitehurst, the pass is right on the button.
Curry, 4 receptions, 61 yards, including the touchdown. Here's a little trickery, and it's Curry again. They force him back to the middle, and he doesn't end up making much of anything.
Interesting.
Joel Scales, I think, was the man who ended up deflecting him and pushing him back into his the tacklers. 2-yard loss.
Interesting thing, Chancey Stuckey, we've been talking a lot about him as we check out all the nutcases that are painting themselves. Mom and Dad are proud, man. They're proud. No more send money signs. It's how much can I paint myself. Chancey Stuckey last year in the game against Wake Forest, he threw the ball. He was 9 of 15 and got 2 late touchdowns and playing quarterback. I mean, he's a fantastic athlete, and you're seeing a lot of that today.
2nd and 11. Kelly churning his way to the 30. Then he's bounced back out to the 31 or 32. Jeremy Thompson, who is a freshman defensive end, big fellow at 6'5 plus, making the tackle.
Well, we see them stopping Clemson's run pretty well, Gary, but we have not seen pressure on the quarterback. Again, they've gone to the 4-man line this year, just 11 sacks last year. We talk about Whitehurst completing the pass as well, because he can stand back there. I think he's had pressure on him once today. So here you go, 3rd and 9. Know it's going to be a pass. Let's see if they can get some pressure on the quarterback.
3rd down conversions. The Tigers are 2 of 3 thus far in this contest. If you're just joining us, we're early in the 2nd quarter. Clemson, after giving up the first 3 points, now leading 16-3, and Bowden calling for a timeout, so his quarterback Whitehurst comes to the near sidelines. Glad to have you along the big opening weekend of college football. Clemson and Wake Forest. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. And Allstate. Allstate is a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. Just over 11 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd and 9 now. Clemson in Wake territory, leading 16-3. The ball at the 30-yard line.
Again, change of play. Went up, told the line the protection.
Slight adjustment on the defense as Whitehurst drops back against pressure, throws, finds his man, Curry, the 25-yard line. Well, we posed the Aflac trivia question. Which Clemson opponent has the best all-time win percentage at Death Valley? Florida State.
Oh, you know, I was going to say, I bet it sounds like it would be Florida State, but I was going to say that would be too obvious. I was going to say something else. I was going to outthink myself.
Yes, sometimes the obvious comes back and haunts you.
It would have haunted me there.
7 of 8 is not bad in this place. Coming in here and facing close to 80,000 fans. Again, this will be a 42-yard field goal attempt.
And this is sure again. Now, again, I saw him hooking it in warm-ups, and he hooked the first one. Let's see what he does here.
Had a good look. And this one on the way. It was, it hit the post, and it bounced through.
Well, if you can hook him like that, go ahead.
Man, had he been a half-yard further back, that ball would have hooked outside the post. But it hit the post, and it bounced through. And so it's now a 16-point lead.
You think he called his shot here?
Stephen Furst had it all the way. Well, coaches love numbers like this. Clemson has scored 19 points in the last 7 minutes and 3 seconds of this ball game. They now lead it 19-3. And there are a lot of happy Tiger fans at the moment here at Death Valley. Chad Dean getting ready to kick off now for Clemson. See Idolette, number 82, on the far side. Melvin on the near side, or Marion on the near side, I'm sorry. About 6 yards deep in the end zone, and they elect to bring it out to the 20. Well, let's take a look at our Dodge defensive playbook. And when you talk defense in Clemson, you're talking Leroy Hill.
Well, he plays on the other side of the line. And this play here, it's a blitz, but he's not going to come off into the blitz right away. Delays it just a hair until a hole opens up, and then he has the speed to get in there and get to the quarterback. He's knocked the quarterback down a few times today. And right now, Gary, he's got a different quarterback he's going to try and knock down. Ben Mock is in the game. The heralded quarterback out of high school 2 years ago is in the game now for Wake Forest.
Well, we're really looking forward to get our first look at this youngster, Kenton, Ohio, where he set all kinds of national passing records. Played for his dad, who was the head coach there, and they put up numbers that would stun you. More than 17,000 yards. Had a whistle there just before the snap.
Well, his first play took too much time getting all the calls in, and now he's starting his 1st and 15.
Jim Grobe, the head coach of Wake Forest, has said that he would not be reluctant to utilize Ben Mock, and the point was made. He says, you know, a lot of people get all concerned about quarterback controversies and one thing or another. He says, if we can get this guy some snaps and we get 2 more good years out of Randolph, and then you've got 2 great years ahead for Ben Mock. They've got such high hopes for him.
He's got a better arm than Randolph, and Randolph is a little better runner than Mock is.
So a different look now at the signal calling spot from the 20. Actually, I moved back, I beg your pardon, to the 15 after the penalty. Scrambling, throwing deep. There's Anderson. Anderson with a catch. Jason Anderson is on his way, and he will not be caught. 85 yards for the touchdown. How about that for a debut in major college football?
Hey, Ben Mock, welcome to college football, my friend. When in doubt, throw it up to your 6'4" receiver and look like a genius.
Oh my goodness, and I mean, he reached back and he just uncorked it with all he could muster.
Bad timing on the jump on defense by Justin Miller. And again, we've talked about Anderson. He's 6'3", 6'4". I'd like him in a jump ball, and Mock thought the same thing. I'll lay it up there and let my guy do it, and there's a happy young man right there.
Wisnowski will try to add the conversion as we watch Mock celebrate. Well, what a story that is right there. The kick is good, and just like that, on an 85-yard bomb, Wake has tightened it now to 19-10. Well, there are special moments for any athlete in his career. This has got to be one right now, and you wonder what kind of a career is in front of this freshman, a redshirt freshman, Ben Mock, out of Kenton, Ohio, and he just threw 85 yards for a touchdown.
And look at this, pretty good poise. He sees he's got a rush coming in front of him. He bails out, keeps his composure, sees a guy downfield, knows it's his big guy, and says, you know what, I'll take the shot and lay it up there. I mean, that's a great job of not basically freaking out on your first pass when you see the rush coming straight at you. He buys himself a little bit of time because he can run and then lays it up there.
Well, it ties the longest pass in Wake Forest history. That's good stuff right there. 19-10 is our ball game from the goal line, and only out to about the 11-yard line. Double check on. We've got an injury here that we're keeping an eye on, and we're going to get a timeout here. So we'll be back here and check out the action, and hopefully no serious problem with the injured player. Well, we still have timeout on the field. This is not an easy thing to watch as we take a look at a replay on the injury. It is James Adams, the linebacker, who was trying to make the tackle.
He was coming to make the tackle, and you'll see his right leg, and it looks pretty bad. See his right leg. He's going to plant right there, right here it plants. So there it plants, and he flips over and he grabs it immediately. So again, you know, you hope it's one of those things that looks worse than it is. We'll see. I mean, he grabbed it right away, knew it looks like he's in a little bit of pain, and you know what, I've been there, Gary, and it's a lot of it's the frustration. You know, it's not so much the pain of it, it's
you're angry, you know, because you're angry because of the season and you can't play.
Exactly, because you want to play so bad, you put so much work in, and here you go, you're laying, and you may have a bad injury, you may not. Again, we won't know, we won't speculate. It did not look very good, that's for sure. And he looks like he's like he knows it might be something. Looks like they're putting something on the leg, like a splint.
Kind of an air splint.
Yeah, an air splint. Yeah.
Well, James Adams. Let's check out the Pacific Life game summary here early in this, still early in the second quarter. A 19-10 ball game. And we have seen a lot of fireworks in this one thus far. 69-yard punt return, Miller for Clemson, and a touchdown. Whitehurst, 116 yards passing. Mock, the freshman, making his first appearance, his second play from scrimmage. The first one resulted in the penalty, and then he just moves to his left, cranks it out there, and finds his man Jason Anderson for a spectacular score.
And as Jim Grobe looks on to see one of his players down, you know, he knew they had the big win last year over Clemson in Wake Forest, and he knew it was going to be a very interesting scenario as he came here to bring his team and play in Death Valley.
I'd like to think we could go out and just play 4 quarters of football and just play the football game. So in our estimation, what we're trying to do is get our kids to just play football, play our game of football, not worry so much about Clemson, not worry so much about the crowd, just go play. And if we'll do that, I think you know, we'll have a chance. If we get too caught up in the atmosphere, then we'll have problems because we do have a lot of young players.
Well, I would say it's going all right now as far as the attitude as we look at this Clemson Memorial Stadium when it was open and the capacity. It's a lot of orange as James Adams is being loaded onto a cart. And what I'm sure Coach Grobe was telling the team as it was 19-3, Gary, was, hey, guys, don't get flustered here. Remember, they only have 1 touchdown and 1 field goal. The other was a safety, and the other was a punt return. So, and then they come back right away with the touchdown. You see Adams getting carted off the field. All his teammates giving him 5, and it's going to feel a lot of frustration there, does Coach Grobe. It's a shame to see. And as soon as we get word on what the injury is, we'll let you know. As he gets a nice hand from the crowd, classy act by the crowd. Give him a hand as he goes off the field. He was in there trying to make a good play, good tackle on the
held him back there to the 12-yard line. It's the worst starting field position today for the Tigers. So we resume action with Clemson leading 19-10. Here's Curry. Gets a couple of yards out of it. Pretty good pursuit that time as Jonathan Abadi was there to make the tackle.
Well, again, Clemson, they want to add more of the running game. And when we say running game with Clemson, it doesn't always mean your basic runs up the middle with your running back. Here you see Curry taking runs to the outside. You'll see that he is the guy that will be the man on the reverses. Just he'll catch it on the reverses, on the motion. You'll see that a lot. They like to run some misdirection as well, not as much as Wake Forest, though.
2nd and 6, ball at the 16 as Whitehurst rolls out, pump fake, chased, pressured, fakes again. Then he gives it up the 3rd time and throws it out of bounds.
See, now that's just a smart play. That first pump fake, Gary, was completely to buy time. So he pump faked Nichols the first time to get him in the air and to buy him some more time. There's the pump fake there to get it out of the way, to buy a little more time as Nichols is homing down in on him, and then he throws it away. It's a smart, it's a very, very poised move.
Do you know many junior quarterbacks that are capable of doing that?
He's showing, as you mentioned off the top, a dark horse in the Heisman. And we talked to him about that a little bit. I mean, he's kind of mentioned after a few more names, but he could put his name into the thick of things depending on, obviously, on how his team, and he does.
So it's 3rd down for Clemson, deep in their own territory.
Guess who's at quarterback?
Here's Chauncey Stuckey. Whitehurst went sprinting out to the far side, and the penalty flag went down.
Remember, Stuckey threw 21 passes last year.
That's right.
15 of those against Wake Forest.
And this is a guy that's...
False start, 73 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Tim DeBeer, sophomore from Georgia.
Well, here you see Stuckey coming in, and Whitehurst, he's going out.
He's headed that way.
Well, we might as well see Stuckey do everything. He's going to, from what I understand, at halftime, he'll be serving water.
3rd and 11. Here comes the pressure on Whitehurst. They pick it up. He has time. He unloads. There's Curry, but the ball's over his head across midfield. Oh, Charlie Whitehurst, judging from that reaction, he wasn't happy about something.
And Curry's a sprinter, so he's just taking off. He's bracketed, though. You see he's got 2 guys on him. He gets to the inside of him. I'll tell you what, if that ball was to the inside a little more, and I know he's looking downfield, he wanted Curry, it looks like, to stay to the outside, and Curry broke to the middle of the field.
First punt coming up for Clemson today. Cole Chasen will be standing back in his end zone to get this one away. Willie Idolette awaits. Backpedals to the 43-yard line. And he doesn't get but a couple of yards as he crosses the 45 on the return attempt. 47 yards on the punt, a 5-yard return.
You think we'll see Ben Mock at quarterback again?
I want to see if he cranks it up and goes for the downs on the first time he touches it on this series.
Again,
well, this fall, the benefactor is going to be looking for the contestant with billionaire qualities. And the game starts the minute they walk through the door. Who will pass his test for success? It premieres Monday. The Benefactor, September 13th, only on ABC.
Mark Cuban giving away $1 million.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get involved in that.
Boy, what a character he is.
Yeah, he's got a few bucks to spend, that's for sure.
Barkley to midfield and then thrown back. Swarm of orange there.
Eric Sampson leading the way, and I tell you, this is the biggest difference from the game last year to this year is those runs up the middle. All of a sudden, Wake Forest isn't busting them. All of a sudden, Clemson is getting off of blocks and making the plays right by the line of scrimmage. That's been the biggest difference from last year to this year.
Wake moved the ball on their first series of the day, and they got a field goal to go on the scoreboard first. Ben Mock throws it out here, and the catch is made. Anderson at the 45 in the short pattern. 5-yard pickup.
It was interesting in talking to Coach Grove how they got Ben Mock to come to Wake Forest. Mock was so heralded coming out of high school, and he said when he was coaching at Ohio University, that's right where Mock was playing, and his dad was coaching him in high school, and they got to know Coach Grove pretty well, and that relationship certainly worked in recruiting Mock to Wake Forest. Because Mock is used to an offense that has 4 and 5 receivers in high school. He would call his own plays in high school. He's a very poised quarterback. Let's see if that can carry over.
Clemson fans trying to rattle the youngster just a bit now. Here's the handoff, and Barkley finds some room inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line before he's dragged down. An 8-yard pickup. Tremaine Billick was there to finally pull him down along with C.J. Gaddis.
One of the first few times we've seen him actually break a little bit of a tackle. Coming to the outside, he scooted the tackle and was able to get the first down. We haven't seen a lot of that. Usually the first man has been able to bring him down because he's not large. If you get your hands around him, you can bring him down. But if you just get your hand on him, he's going to break that.
First down. Boy, you talk about everybody moving in different directions, but it hasn't fooled the defense thus far. Idolette finally bounced out of bounds. There was great pressure inside. Travis Pugh ended up with the tackle. Nick Watkins was also over there and kind of diverted his path.
It was interesting. We were having our production meeting and talking to the people who were going to run the cameras as well. I said, they're going to try and fool you guys too. People are everywhere, and our camera crew staying right on it.
Boy, they're just wheeling and dealing back there.
The camera guys aren't getting fooled at all in this one.
I want to thank all the men and women of our production team here. Season opening weekend is always a special challenge, and we're certainly enjoying it. Barkley inside, peekabooing his way to the 25-yard line. Little duck and cover there. Nice move. Well, 11-yard gain.
And Gary, you said it, peekaboo. That's what Barkley does well because he's not very big. He can hide behind the line. You'll see the blitz coming from the right. He breaks it. Look, he just hides there. Gets right behind Damon McWhite, his fullback, and waits until he engages and then breaks off of it. He's 5'10", but when he ducks down, he's probably about 5'5". He's disappearing from the defense.
Ben Mock, the freshman quarterback now at the controls. The handoff goes to the right side and down to the 20-yard line. Picking up maybe 5 yards at a crack here and making some move. Gaines Adams making the tackle on Barkley this time. Barkley said that we talked with him yesterday about the disappointment of the way that season ended last year for Wake, and he just said, well, we lost focus. And they've really been determined through their spring drills and now in the preseason and getting ready for this day to maintain focus. So we don't want our highs to be as high. We don't want our lows to be as low. 2nd and 5. Here's Barkley again. He's the workhorse. He picks his way inside the 15 this time. Nice little march here by Wake Forest.
All of a sudden, they're getting through the line and getting to the second level. What I've noticed every series or so, or every few plays or so even, Gary, we're seeing 2 new offensive linemen come in. They're rotating a little bit, save for Blake Lindgren, the center, and Steve Vallis, the left tackle. The other 3, you see a rotation system going a little bit, maybe to stay fresh. Coach Grove said they haven't really got a consistent starting 5 yet, so they're going to mess around with it a little bit, and they've been exchanging some linemen, and it seems to be working.
And one of their wide receivers has just been changed as Chris Davis came in. Mock goes to the shotgun. Deep in Clemson territory, finds his man Anderson inside the 5 and bumped out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Well, coming up, our Valvoline halftime show, John Craig and former Notre Dame All-American Aaron Taylor will have highlights and analysis from today's big games direct from our New York studio. So we invite you to stay tuned for that. And a very entertaining first half.
Yes, it has. Good to see that they hire Aaron Taylor, former Notre Damer, got a lot of,
I wondered if that might catch you.
They'll all have to up their conversation and the intellect there on that halftime crew there to deal with Aaron.
First and goal from the 2. Touchdown, Wake Forest. Bursting right up the middle is Cornelius Bergs, a redshirt junior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He scored 5 touchdowns last year, has 9 in his career up until seconds ago. He has now been rewarded with his 10th.
What a great job by Jim Grove and this Wake Forest team of not, as you said it before, not getting too low and not getting too high. They stayed even keel, and it has worked for them. They just stuck with the game plan, and methodically they've been moving the ball and taking advantage of their opportunities.
Extra point attempt is drilled right through the middle. So we're down now to just under 6.5 minutes to play here in the first half, and we've got us a brand new ball game. 19-17 is the score after the 2-yard touchdown run by Cornelius Bergs. Well, a 2-point lead now for Clemson. They had been on top in rather spectacular fashion, but suddenly a couple of scores engineered by the freshman quarterback have tightened it up. Justin Miller on the return there for Clemson. A little better field position to start this drive.
Talked about the O-line, and here you're going to see Greg Atkins on the pull. He's going to do a nice job blocking Leroy here. Let's get him pull and then hold it here, and we'll show him. Here's Atkins right there, and he's going to get his big 290-pound body on Leroy Hill at about 220, and he kind of engulfs him. It gives the back room to scoot right inside. So it's a nice job by the line, getting active, shuffling with their feet. That time it was Greg Atkins, but as I said, there's been a nice rotation of linemen coming in, and all of a sudden the holes are starting to open up.
9-play drive, 53 yards, consumed 2.5 minutes on the clock, resulting in the touchdown. Whitehurst on the keep this time, gets it out to the 28.
Remember I said Whitehurst can move and run pretty good, but not option-like. I don't think he wants to be doing the option too much.
Charlie peering intently over here to the sidelines to get the call for a 2nd and 7 scenario now, and we move inside 6 minutes to play.
Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo Sweeney down there sends those plays in.
There they go again.
I enjoy watching him go through a variety of contortions and moves there, trying to decipher what's coming up.
And if you're a defender, you just stop at some point of trying to pick it up. It just gets too confusing.
Once again, Kelly to the inside for maybe 4 tough yards across the 30.
Here's where they may miss Dwayne Coleman a little bit, Gary. Yusuf Kelly's in there, and he's a bigger back. He's about 230 pounds, and that's a misdirection play. Misdirection, as you see Coleman there, he's smaller and faster, and in a misdirection play, it takes time. So by the time the running back gets the ball, he's got to have a burst of speed. And at 195 pounds, Coleman has that. Kelly, you saw, got caught from behind there a little bit. At 230, he's a little slower, so the misdirection may not work as well with him.
Coleman out with a broken foot. He rushed for over 600 yards last season.
And caught.
And he caught a lot of balls.
He caught a lot of balls, and that's going to change on this offense, too. They don't have a really receiving running back.
Nice catch. Chances Stuckey. He does a little of everything today. 10-yard pickup this time. Brings it out across the 40.
Well, it's a whole domino effect. Again, Wake Forest in their defense, they don't play a lot of press, so they're playing off. Whitehurst is getting great protection. Again, not a great rush yet from Wake Forest. And the running backs, they run those routes, and boom, Charlie's putting it right there.
And you mentioned protection, and one of the concerns was the inexperience at the tackle positions. Marion Dukes and Jesse Pickens starting this game today. They've done well. Here's Whitehurst with the play-action fake. He's going deep. He's got a Reese Curry. He makes the catch and he's pulled down at the 5-yard line. Oh, look at the pump fist. Charlie liked that one.
Wow.
48-yard pickup, puts the ball. Well, we're waiting for the official spot. It's going to be just inside the 7, it appears.
Curry runs a 10-2-2 in 100 meters. He's going to sprint it. Whitehurst is going to put it up there. He knows his guy will eventually end up behind the defensive back. What a great pitch and catch that was. And Charlie knows it.
Marcus Magruder was trying to keep up there. So 1st and goal now. I'm sorry, 1st and 10. We're outside the 10-yard line. I got a little overzealous there. I was trying to spot the ball inside the 10 for him. Kelly gets to the 10-yard line. Whitehurst now in the passing department today. We'll update his yardage here in just a second. Curry, look at this, 6 receptions for 113. That's an average of nearly 19 yards a catch.
He set a team record last year against Middle Tennessee State with 12 receptions in that game. And again, he's a sprinter. He runs on the track team here. He and Ty Hill are 2 guys that run on this Clemson track team.
Well, Whitehurst going to take a timeout. This will be the second Clemson timeout of the first half. Whitehurst is 10 of 16 passing. He's thrown for 173 yards and a touchdown. Well, we've referred to our scenario here today as Death Valley on more than one occasion, and maybe Vince Welch can enlighten us as to just what it's all about. Well, how did this happen, Vince?
Well, actually, there's a lot of life in this place today, but it is known as Death Valley to all those that come here to support Clemson football. And many believe that that moniker stems from the fact that there's a cemetery just adjacent to the stadium. It's right behind the press box here at the stadium. And former Clemson Hall of Fame coach Frank Howard is laid to rest there. And, of course, Howard, one of the great coaches of college football. But the truth is that the nickname stems from Lonnie McMillan, a former coach at Presbyterian. Back in 1948, McMillan was preparing his team to come here to play Clemson, and he said, well, we're going to Death Valley because we always get killed there. And he wasn't exaggerating. 1 in 15 McMillan's Presbyterian teams were here at Clemson.
Wow. Well, and the Clemson fans, well, they love to milk this whole Death Valley thing to death. I mean, it's just literally, they've got a little mystique going here, and they got Howard's Rock, and they've got the run down the hill, and they got these rabid fans, and it's a great environment.
It's great to get everybody involved in this, a small town that swells to 6 or 7 times its size for game days. And we talk about Howard's Rock. Well, Frank Howard, you know, it was there in '67, and it was a pregame speech he had in '67 that said, if you're going to go out and give 100% in this game, touch the rock. That means you're going to do that. If you're not, don't bother touching the rock. And that's when that tradition started. Today was the 298th time that rock has been touched, and the team comes down the hill after it.
First time was against Wake. The 298th time was against Wake. Clemson in scoring position at the 10-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Charlie Whitehurst. He's going to keep it. He gets maybe 3 yards there as he was swarmed under. Caron Bracey was there. You know, we mentioned earlier there's been some talk about Heisman consideration. Let's get Charlie's reaction to that.
It's about Clemson. It's about winning games right now. You know, I don't know what my chances are, and I don't really care at this point. You know, at the end of the year, there might be a reassessment in my mind, but you know, right now it's about winning games.
There's Whitehurst faced with a 3rd and 6. The ball at the 8-yard line of Wake Forest. A 2-point lead for Whitehurst and company. They pick up the pressure. He throws, and it's intercepted at the goal line. And a lot of room to run. Josh Gaddis bumped out of bounds at the 38-yard line. And that is that for that drive.
Way to jinx him, Gary. Way to go.
Yeah.
That was the first bad pass I've seen today out of Charlie Whitehurst. Good job. Gaddis was just hanging out in the middle of the field. You'll see him. He's right here. He's just hanging. He's reading the eyes of the quarterback. He sees the middle route, and he just jumps it. That's a bad job by Charlie Whitehurst. No way he should have thrown that ball. Gaddis does a great job jumping in front of it. And Whitehurst is going to know that one is all on him.
Well, for Gaddis, his first career interception, first turnover of this game. And Wake Forest trailing 19-17 inside 3 minutes to go in this second quarter. Goes to work. Grinding it straight ahead. Corey Randolph is back in at quarterback now after the couple of series turned in very impressively by Ben Mock, who guided his club to a couple of scores.
And that's what Coach Grove said he was going to do. He was going to bring him in for a couple of series and then kind of play it by ear. Instead of one guy really takes over, then, you know, that's the route they're going to go.
43-yard line, second down. Anderson takes it out in reverse. Looking for a hole. 58 penalty marker is down, however. May come back. Is that Willie Idolette? I beg your pardon. I had him. Idolette. Wait and see if this one is going to come back, and it appears that that will be the case. Jim Grove, the head coach, watching across the way for the Deacon Demons.
Holding, 84 offense, 10 yards to the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Zach Selman, the tight end, I believe, is the man singled out on that one.
Yeah.
84.
On a reverse, there's a little more time. More time you have to hold your block. Right in there, you see it going out. He's got a handle on him. He's driving his feet well, but he's just holding on. Let's go at the end. He must have really obviously had a pretty good hold as you saw the flag come in there late. You have to, again, on reverses, plays that take more time, you have to hold your block a little longer. Gives the ref a little bit more time to see you hold.
So they're backed up to the 33-yard line, and Randolph out of the deep drop. Now throws to the left side, and Idolette makes a great catch. Is it good? I believe it is. Just across midfield at the 49, maybe the 48. A 19-yard pickup.
There you go, inside receiver right there. He's going to do an out route. Again, throwing to a spot, knows where he's going to go, gets it down. Nice feet, getting him down. Excellent job. Nice throw, nice catch. Only he's going to catch it.
Billy Idolette out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's a redshirt sophomore. Randolph under pressure, dumps it out. Idolette out of bounds at about the 46-yard line.
I tell you what, Anderson was running a deep route again, and Randolph thought of trying to have lightning strike with him instead of Mock, and he thought about laying it up to him, but Anderson was double covered, and Idolette was just kind of hanging out in the flat. I thought Randolph was going to throw it deep and hope Anderson would catch one for him as well.
Charles Bennett was putting some pressure on the quarterback there.
Good opportunity for Wake here, if nothing else, Gary, to get in field goal position, because they could take the lead right before the half if they're able to do that. Don't need to go for anything big here. Just move the sticks. You have time.
Just under 2 minutes to play in our second quarter. Oh, pressure. Big time. He eludes it and is tripped up. My goodness, Jamal Fudge came up there and saved the day after Randolph suddenly somehow found a way to work himself free.
Well, Randolph did a great job working himself free, but then he's got to throw the ball away. Got to keep your head throughout the play, and he's got to throw it away. You see the blitz, he does a nice job ducking it. Okay, he ducks it, he gets out of it. Now know you're scrambling to get rid of the ball. Throw it away. You're outside the tackle box, just dump the ball. He also had a running back, I think it was Barkley, I think he had him standing right there. You have to keep your wits about you at all time and try and get rid of the ball. Don't lose the yards.
Well, that resulted in an 7-yard loss on that play. The ACC alignment is going to reflect a change because Miami and Virginia Tech are newcomers. And here you get a look at the history, the original teams of Clemson, Duke, Maryland, North Carolina, NC State, Wake Forest, and Virginia. Then comes Georgia Tech, Florida State in '91. And this is what's going to happen next year in terms of division play.
And here's a team that'll jump in next year, Boston College. That's when they'll go to a championship game. It won't be this year because there's just 11 teams. So next year when they have 12, when Boston College jumps in, then you have your championship game. And, you know, we talked to the Clemson, both teams about this, but really Clemson about the change in the conference, and they said, hey, you know what it does for us? It gives us a stronger schedule, so when we win, it looks better to the pollsters, and we can get to a BCS poll. So they're looking at it as a positive.
And the ACC is loaded this year. There are 5 teams that are in the top 20 in preseason rankings coming into today's activity, which is pretty doggone impressive.
Well, I think a lot of people in the ACC now think they've moved into like the super conference, you know, like the SEC and the Big 12, they thought were the 2 conferences that were maybe separate from the other 4. But now a lot of the coaches feel with the addition of the 3 teams after next year, the ACC will be considered one of these super conferences as well.
And after the loss on the last play, it's now 3rd and 15. Wake trying to get into position where maybe salvage a field goal here before the half. Here's the pressure again. Randolph works his way through it, but he's dragged down just across midfield. Coming up on the Valvoline halftime show, John Craig, former Notre Dame All-American Aaron Taylor, highlights and analysis from today's big games. ABC News will also have an update on Hurricane Francis, and that's on the minds of an awful lot of people in this part of the country here, even as it has weakened somewhat, now coming on shore down in central Florida.
A lot of people have, you know, evacuated out of there. I think in the area 2.8 million people and a lot of winds. And while it has been downgraded, we hope it stays that way. And it looks like a lot of water is going to get dumped on Florida. And obviously we'll keep you updated on that as best we can.
Clemson has taken their last timeout. They have stopped the clock with 1:31 to go in this first half of action.
Well, you want to be careful. Clemson does take the timeout. You try and go for the block possibly, but you risk then the roughing the punter, and then Wake would get a first down. You have to be careful here.
Take a look at some of the total yards. Only a 7-yard difference between Wake Forest and Clemson at this point of this ball game, and some pretty impressive passing numbers. Whitehurst, of course, for Clemson, and the freshman Mock had the 85-yard bomb for Wake Forest. ABC Sports brings you more great college football action tomorrow. Senior running back Walter Reyes leads Syracuse against quarterback Kyle Orton and Purdue. That's the Orange Men and the Boilermakers tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific, right here at ABC Sports Championship Television.
Be a good first game. Both those teams, Purdue liking to throw the ball with Orton. Certainly Syracuse. That's multiple running formations.
Justin Miller, who had the spectacular punt return, awaits this one, but it's angling toward the sideline and goes out of bounds inside the 20. So with 1:25 to go in the first half.
Ball spotted at the 18-yard line.
Once again.
Will take over. First
All right, so no timeouts for Clemson. Again, first down, stop the clock, so you can get up there and get to the line. And certainly both these teams are used to no huddle, since that's all we see. So a 2-minute drill, all you'll see is everything. You'll see a lot of the same stuff, but just sped up now.
10 of 17 is Whitehurst for 173 yards. He had the one interception, the only turnover of the first half, but he also had the one touchdown pass. Now out of the shotgun. He has time to throw, and just off the outstretched arms of his intended receiver, Kelvin Grant.
Well, there's 2 bad passes in a row. That one he's got to put on the mark. He had him and didn't get it there. Now from Wake's side, let's see. Are they going to try and blitz? Are they going to keep 7 back and try and get that 4-man rush? Because right now, you know, at this point of the game, they've had no pressure on Charlie Whitehurst at all. So let's see if they blitz or just go with the 4-man and try and get some quick pressure and make the ball come out.
One setback. Now they bring a second in there, and Whitehurst goes in motion. This is that play that resulted in a penalty that we saw earlier on. Chancey Stuckey, the converted quarterback, on the keep, looking for room, picking his way out to the 28-yard line. Interesting little play set right there as Whitehurst went sprinting out to the right side.
Boy, you didn't think he was going to throw the ball here. I thought it was going to be a run all the way. I think Wake Forest in scouting should have probably seen that one as well. Stuckey's more going to run it than going to throw it. Puts him in a nice position.
Whitehurst throwing off that back foot. He finds Curry just short of midfield. Arias Curry caught 43 balls last season, and he's having a pretty good afternoon thus far with a 19-yard gain.
Well, again, we've seen this. I saw this pass a bunch in warm-up. Outside receiver here, just doing the out. Just a little bit in, and he gets the hips turned of the defensive back, and that's a key move there. It was Riles Swanson who just turned to the inside a little bit, and that gives you just enough to the outside, and the pass has got to be on the mark, and it was.
You see again that Clemson is out of timeouts in this first half. Kelly alongside Whitehurst in the backfield. Curry out to the right. Whitehurst looking to the left and looking long. Kelvin Grant is there. He reaches. He can't pull it in at the 10-yard line. Kelvin Grant made a great effort, but Marcus Magruder, I believe, was the defender there.
Well, here's the end of this play, and as you watch it, you know, just beyond the reach of the receivers. But Gary, I think we should update this injury because the way it looked and what's happening.
This is great news.
Yes.
James Adams, we saw him carted off the field. We are told now that it is a knee sprain, and amazingly, they are telling us that he may return to second-half action.
That is great news because it certainly looked, again, you hope it looked worse than it was, and it seems to be that way, and that's great news.
Saw him put that air splint on that leg, and when he planted there, we all feared the worst. Whitehurst now with time winding down, throws a bad pass, and it is picked off. Braxton on the move. Warren Braxton across the 40. Penalty markers come down with 32 seconds left in the half. Charlie with his second interception. Whitehurst just shaking his head.
That was, again, another bad pass. We've seen a few now from Whitehurst, and twice it's cost him with 2 interceptions.
Well, they talk about how poised, how competitive Charlie Whitehurst is. Now he's got to kind of gather himself here, and he'll probably be talking to himself going into halftime after a second mistake.
During the return, block in the back against Wake Forest. It'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
That was on Riley Swanson. So we see the again, just trying a middle route here, and he just flat out overthrows it.
And there were 3 Wake defenders right in the immediate vicinity of the intended receiver.
Yeah, there he is. He's mad. He knows it. I just saw him kind of lips at what was the play. You know, that's what he was saying. You know, could read his lips there, and looked like he was throwing maybe a different route or a different pattern of what the route was that was being run. Because that was a gimme for Wake Forest.
Little counter move here to the left side, popping it out across the 40-yard line. Leroy Hill with the tackle on a 15-yard gain.
Well, that's one of those plays, Gary. You see how many yards you get and decide if you're going to use your timeouts or not. And I'll tell you what, they got enough in my book.
They're going to take one.
I would call a timeout. Absolutely.
Cornelius Bergs, who scored the 2-yard touchdown run, was the ball carrier that time. Made a nice little move off to the left side to get it out to the 43-yard line.
And that's what that play is. You kind of test it and see what you get out of it and see if you're going to try and go for some points. And they certainly got enough to do it. Now they have 1 timeout left. Again, if they move the chains and get the first down, the clock will stop until it's marked, so they have time to get to the ball and run a play.
Well, so much football activity, so much anticipation. We talked about the ranked teams in the ACC, and a lot of people down in this part of the country are saying, hey, we're as tough as the SEC right now, and they have a pretty good case.
They sure do. And if they're going to get in some field goal range here, both the kickers for Wake Forest, Plakamar and Wisniewski, both guys that kick, their longs are 43 and 44. So Wake Forest would have to get in the area of about the 27-yard line of Clemson to get in their guys' range. Though, you know, if we've heard they've kicked a little farther in practice, so maybe they'll get that extra foot in it today.
Well, this is obviously a big sequence right here now with the first down and only 22 seconds remaining in the half. Corey Randolph, who started the game at quarterback, gave way to Ben Mock for a couple of series. Back in. Little play action here as he sets up. Oh, the ball is deflected off his back arm. Couldn't get to it. Great pressure that time. Number 99, Maurice Fountain, and number 86, Charles Bennett, were both right there.
That was Bennett. He did a great job coming around the outside. He's going to come right to the left of your screen. 86, a nice swim move right over the shoulder, and he gets his right hand right on the arm and the ball. And then Fountain comes and finishes in the other way, but a great pass rush by Bennett, getting that jersey with the left hand, pulling down and getting the arm over with the right hand, called a swim move. And I tell you, when you hit that arm of the quarterback going forward, that can be a dangerous thing.
Yeah, I'm often amazed that there aren't injuries when you see that right there. Inside handoff, it's Bergs again to about the 48-yard line. That'll count it down, it appears, for the remainder of this first half of action. But what a first half of action it has been. We've got 36 points on the board. 19-17 is our score. Clemson enjoyed the early advantage, and then Wake came booming back with a couple of scores, and this one has been a bit up and down today.
Clemson tried to put the nail in the coffin early here, and Wake Forest had none of that. They just stuck with their game plan and did a great job.
Early in the second quarter, this was a 19-3 game. But right now at halftime, it is 19-17. Well, everybody get a chance to regroup a little bit here and get ready for second half action. See Coach Tommy Bowden walking off the sidelines with his club, kind of pondering what may be coming up. ABC Sports presentation of college football will be returning after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Here's your halftime score, 19-17. The Tigers lead the Demon Deacons.